Hey guys, my name is Daniela Marie. Feel free to call me Ella. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am 100% Black American. Obviously, I have roots somewhere else, but as far back as my ancestry can be traced and verified, everybody born, bred in America. I love being Black American. I cannot stand people who make it seem like Black American has no culture. Culture is quite lit. We all understand each other. Everybody's ripping us off. That's neither here nor there. I'll say that for another day. Back to why we're here. So, much like you, I was tired of being indoors during the pandemic. Everybody, we were shut indoors, didn't have much to do, could barely go out, everybody's sick, despair all around us, nothing fun about it. So during that time, I came up in my mind that I needed a break. I needed a change. So then I decided to take a trip. Where? Africa. So, let me tell you a little bit more about myself. So, just so you know, fully trained and licensed attorney in Atlanta, Georgia. My life was quite good. Have no complaints. Doing okay for myself. I did all of the run-of-the-mill things that your parents told you to do as a child. Went to school, got good grades, got a good job, did it all. It did not land me anywhere close to where I thought I was going to be. And the biggest downfall of it all, I just wasn't happy. So I decided to take some trips while we were shut indoors and explore Africa. And then I learned about Nigeria. So let me tell you about my first trip to Nigeria. It was a spur-of-the-moment trip. Barely knew anybody. I actually only had one friend and one colleague that I knew before my arrival. Got my visa. I'm sure like everybody else, I heard nothing but negative things before I went. My parents were freaked out. All that, threw caution to the wind. I decided to come and experience and judge it for myself. So, let me tell you what it looked like. So I fly in from Ghana. It was a very quick flight, maybe like 40 minutes. I land, I get off the airplane, and instantly, totally different experience than anything I'd ever seen. The plane landed on the tarmac. There wasn't even like a ramp. I had to like walk down the stairs, walk on the pavement, into the actual airport. There was no AC. I mean, it was kind of crappy. Anyways, back to where it gets good. So then, while in the airport, there was a politician who was on the plane with me. So as soon as we get in, they're starting to ask about things that I had no clue, because all I knew at the time was that I needed a COVID test, a visa, passport, and I felt like I should be good. So they're already starting to ask for things. I had no idea what they were talking about, and this politician's like, hey, she's with me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm with him. So takes me through the airport, made the airport a breeze. Ended up meeting up with a colleague who just wanted to make sure that I got in safe, managed to get me to my Airbnb, sat, talked for a little bit. So then later that night, the politician who I met, he was actually flying to Abuja, but he stayed the night in order to have dinner with me. So he sends a car. We have dinner. That was like my first night in Nigeria. So of course I'm like, okay, Nigeria, you're not doing half bad. Like, guys over here sending cars. Like, okay. So have dinner. It was just dinner. And went back home, went to sleep, started the next day. I will say, my friend who I knew before I got here was quite impeccable. Like, very amazing person, very amazing friend. He really curated like my short stay completely to my liking. So everywhere we went, it was filled with people and places and things that were of interest to me. There was not a dull moment during the first week. So needless to say, after my 1 week, I was like, I'm sold. I want to move there. Crazy, right? Crazy, but that's what happened. So off to Nigeria I went another day, but that could not be further from the truth. Needless to say, I still recognize that I have roots somewhere across the water. So, let me share a little bit more about myself. I went to school. I attended Spelman College in Atlanta, graduated. I then went to law school at Howard University, School of Law. So I'm a fully trained, licensed attorney in America. I own a law practice in Atlanta, Georgia. I am a member of a sorority. I'm an AKA. I am also the owner of, well, the founder of a nonprofit called My Ancestors Dream, because of course, I'm my ancestors' dream. In addition to that, I really had a goal of empowering others, helping others celebrate personal achievements, no matter how big or small the achievement is. And that's what I do through the nonprofits. Let's see. Is there anything else about me? Obviously, I have a puggle who is popping her head in. Let's see. Cool. So anyways, start of the pandemic, like all of you I'm sure, we're living indoors. Life was not very fun at all. So I was bored and I needed a change. I decided to take a couple trips. Those trips eventually led me to Africa. And so while on a trip to Ghana, very unexpected last minute trip, I had one friend in Nigeria. I'm sure much like all of you, I've heard all the same things about Nigeria, so wasn't really eager to come visit. But my friend really pushed me to come out, visit it for myself. So I decided to take him up on that. So during this trip to Nigeria, it was 1 week, not very planned, decided to kind of wing it. Honestly, I feel like God must have wanted it all to happen perfectly, because by the end of this 1 week, let me not get ahead of the story. You'll see. So anyways, so how it happens, I flew from Ghana to Nigeria. The flight was about 40 minutes. Landed, unlike any other experience anywhere. I got off the plane onto the ground. Like, I had never gotten off at that place. Everybody's so used to walking up the tarmac, and never experienced this, but got off the plane, walked down the stairs, and then we had to walk into the airport. So, walk into the airport, I was totally confused. No AC, super freaking hot. And as soon as they start asking about some forms that I had no idea what they were talking about, there was a politician who was on board at the plane with me, and he's like, "Hey, she's with me." It's like, okay, I can get with this. So just like that, whisked me through the airport, decided to stay in touch with the politician, and then my one colleague who I knew from here regarding some work in the past. Met me, just wanted to escort me, make sure I made it safe to the Airbnb. So get to the Airbnb, get checked in, settled in, talk for a bit, and then the politician who I met at the airport sends a car for me so that we can have dinner. So I'm like, okay, this trip's starting out pretty nice. Dinner was, it was cool, but story gets better. So my friend had pretty much had the perfect week set up. Everywhere that we went, it was perfectly curated to my likes, my interests, things that he knew that I would enjoy. So the entire week was spent going out, on the water. I love the water. There's so much beautiful water in Nigeria. So going out, having dinner on the water, meeting people who I found to be incredibly insightful, helpful, just a pure fresh air, pure joy. Anyways, so meeting these people, had a great time. I ended up leaving after my 1 week 100% certain that this is where I wanted to be. So I decided, do you know what a gap year is? I don't know if you know. Anyways, let me tell you. So gap year is usually taken after you graduate from high school or after you graduate from college. And it's pretty much a year where you push pause on all things adulting. You get to live carefree and you get to really see the world. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't afford one of those at those times in my life. I had to work, had to save a little money, but now, this is my version. This is my adult gap year.